Hi, I'm Steve Adubato coming to you remotely with a whole range of important conversations. Hopefully, we will be in the studio very soon. But right now, we're joined by Patrick Dunican, who is chairman and managing director of Gibbons P.C. Good to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you, Steve. Thanks for having me on again.
I recognize you are in the boardroom right now at Gibbons. I've done leadership academy work there, training. You're there? All of your people, part of your people, who's there right now?
Oh, no. This is a very slow, phased reopening. Under Governor Murphy's Executive Order 107, lawyers were deemed essential, but if you could have your people work remotely, you were asked to do so. So we've had our people home since March 13th, a full week before the executive order kicked in. Our chief technology officer, who's the best in the world, Mike Aginski, had gotten us up to the ability to work remotely right away. Between laptops and software program called Citrix, people could log in immediately the following week, which happened to be St. Patrick's Week, which is a big deal here at the Gibbons
and a
Law
lot of
Firm.
other folks, right?
So we were up and running that week, starting March 13th. We had a couple of issues in the past, like a fire that knocked out our entire HVAC system in 2007. Then, of course, we had the recession in 2008, 2009. Then we had Superstorm Sandy in 2012, which knocked us out of our New York office, our New Jersey office. So we needed a resiliency plan, which Michael put together for us, and June Inderweiss, who you know, our executive director. We implemented it right away, and we were up and running seamlessly that first week. And we've been remote ever since, with our reopening plans starting last week, where only about 20 of our 200 lawyers are in the office with appropriate social distancing, masks. All the common areas have been closed. There's tape on every floor directing you where to go. All the bathrooms now have been isolated to one person with a sign indicating vacant or occupied. The pantries are out of order. There's no coffee. There's no refrigerator. There's no ice machine.
Right.
We're keeping people in their office because of the admonition from the CDC and the health authorities regarding being inside, indoors. So we're going to continue to do this, Steve, for 10 weeks. It's a 10-week reopening plan, gradual, slow reopening.
Let's put this in perspective, because we are taping on the 16th of June. As everyone knows, you see the date on the screen. We never try to hide when we're taping. This will be seen after. So Patrick's description is as of the 16th of June. However, there's a bigger picture issue, not a bigger picture issue, but I want to get into this. The legal profession is changing dramatically because of COVID, Patrick Dunican?
I think it was going to come someday, but this pandemic served as a catalyst for real fundamental change going forward. And that, I guess you're alluding to the fact that law offices are not going to need to be as big as they've been in the past. You're going to have conference centers and you're going to have perhaps workspaces, but we've proven over the course of the past 3 months that we can do this remotely.
Without missing a beat.
Without missing a beat. Our lawyers are working, the phones, they're online, they do their Zoom calls like everybody else. But then also, we've learned to adjust to taking depositions online, remotely. Some of our younger folks are real good technology-wise, where they can post the documents onto the computer screen while the other lawyers are taking the deposition, asking the questions. Now, that's not to say that we're not being hurt by this pandemic, the legal industry. Of course, work has slowed down necessarily. The courts are basically closed right now with a very slow, gradual reopening plan for them. So you don't have the motion practice that you had in the past. You don't have the settlement conferences or the scheduling conferences in person. Some of that has been moved remotely, but not all of it is there yet. There's still growing pains right now.
Stay on that, Patrick. By the way, you
Sure.
can catch Patrick on our sister program, Lessons in Leadership. We're doing a whole conversation with Patrick on leadership, but I'm curious about this on the judicial side. Patrick, are there more settlements, out-of-court settlements being made because of COVID-19 because you're not in court?
Well, it's a mixed bag, Steve, and it's on a case-by-case basis. So, for example, a lot of defense lawyers like us at Gibbons use discovery to try to get to a good settlement for all parties. Okay, a lot of that discovery has slowed down because lawyers, plaintiffs' lawyers, defense lawyers are reluctant to do things differently. So they don't want to have a deposition of their client because they can't meet their client to prepare that witness. Okay, so that may not happen, right? There may not be the site inspection that's required to get information to produce a settlement. So while some people are probably in need of whatever fee that they're going to try to get, contingency fee or otherwise, that would cause cases to settle. But I wouldn't want to accuse anyone of putting their client's interests, below their own.
It's a factor. And speaking of factors, you talked about being hurt. And the reality is, Patrick and I have had a fair number of offline conversations. We talk about leadership all the time. I'm doing leadership development there, work and the academy, leadership academy at Gibbons, but also the financial piece. Gibbons is a big contributor to a lot of organizations, not-for-profits and others, including those of us in public broadcasting. So my question is, how do you do triage? How do you prioritize how you continue to give to the community when you're trying to keep your books in the black?
It's a great question, Steve. So we shut down all sponsorships and all charitable giving as of March 13th, all right? But the need is still out there. The need is still extant. So I want to tell you about something that we're doing here right now. And that is, for many years, we've participated in the Battle of the Barristers, which is a charity softball tournament started by my partner, Mike Griffinger, and Don Robinson from the Robinson firm 35 years ago. Well, the Fresh Air Fund is not going to be sending kids to camps this summer, but the need, especially for the special needs kids, to go to virtual camp is still extant, right? So last week, we put out a call to our lawyers and our staff to have a virtual Jeans Day this coming Friday. And we've asked them, by the way, we gave them off as well for Juneteenth. And we asked them to wear jeans like they would in the office, or if they're on vacation, to wear a bathing suit, or if they put on the quarantine 15 to wear stretch pants, but to donate to this Fresh Air Fund charity virtually, and like we've always done every month, a Jeans Day for charity.
How'd it do?
Well, I agreed to match it personally, because I thought that the need was still important, and Mike Griffinger agreed to match my match. So every dollar going to the Fresh Air Fund would be worth $3. So
that's awesome.
It turns out that either my people got really generous, or they really want to stick it to me, because as of right now, we've raised $5,000 as of today, with a few more days left. So right now, the gift to the Fresh Air Fund, or the donation, is going to be in excess of $15,000, which will be the biggest gift we've ever given.
So again, there's a need that continues. You find different ways of giving. But again, you got to watch that bottom line. By the way, I want to remind folks, check out Patrick on our Lessons in Leadership program, talking about, again, we talk about how to manage your budget, how to keep your people motivated, how to make tough decisions if you have to lay off people, cut salaries, do all kinds of things, but lead without people seeing you panicking. Patrick, I want to thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being with us. Again, I recognize that conference room. Be safe and be well, my friend.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
I'm Steve Adubato. I'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, Wells Fargo, Summit City MD, New Jersey Sharing Network, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, Kessler Foundation, and by the Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, and by AM 970 The Answer.
Hello, this is Bob Garrett, CEO of Hackensack Meridian Health. As we see a downward trend in COVID-19 patients, we must continue to take measures to promote good health with safety at the forefront. We've created designated areas for the treatment of COVID-19 patients. We're monitoring the temperature of all patients, visitors, and team members, and we're thoroughly cleaning and sanitizing all facilities. It is safe to come back and get the health care you need. Visit hackensackmeridianhealth.org/getcarenow.